Hi everyone, welcome to my Monarch Legacy of Monsters episode 1 to 2 review. Legacy of Monsters is a new Apple Plus show that takes place in the monster Godzilla and King Kong universe that started back in 2014 with the Gareth Edwards Godzilla film, which I find actually to be pretty decent. It's far from perfect, but it's got pretty decent action sequences. It's well filmed, and while the characters could have used a bit of work, I think it's actually not that bad of a movie. I didn't really care for much for Skull Island. I think the 2005 King Kong by Peter Jackson is much better. And also, I really didn't like King of the Monsters. I somewhat enjoyed Kong vs. Godzilla. It's got very ridiculous and silly moments. It doesn't make any sense. It's very over the top, but it's not awful. It's just alright, I guess. Going to this series, I really didn't know what to expect. I thought it looked interesting from the trailers, so I gave it a shot. And right off the bat, I can say that episode 2 is much stronger than the premiere episode. Let's delve into the plot. Taking place right after the Godzilla film in 2014, this actually takes place 1 year after the awesome battle between Godzilla and the Mutos in San Francisco. It follows the character of Kate, played by Anna Sawai, I think you pronounce her name, who investigates with her half-brother, Ken Watanabe. She's part of the secret family that she had no idea her father had. And of course, this upsets her. She's upset that her father had an affair with someone else, and kept it from her. And this, I feel, makes her very unlikable for most of the episode. The more Kate starts discovering about her personal life and her father mysterious past, the more she thinks he's involved with the monsters and Monarch. The series is created by Chris Black and Matt Fraction and is currently streaming on Apple Plus. Without any spoilers, I preferred the first episode, the second episode more than the first. Like I said, the second episode I definitely feel was more entertaining. It had more action sequences and had a better character development, and I felt myself caring more about the situations. So yeah, definitely an interesting start. I'm not over the moon about this series yet, but we'll see as it continues. So let's dive deep into the first episode. Episode 1. I have a few thoughts on episode 1. Right off the bat, the special effects in the series are spectacular. If you come here for the special effects, then the series does deliver on that. They're beautiful, they're amazing, they're actually movie quality. You could not tell the difference between this and the movie, and that's, I think, the best compliment I can give this series. The special effects here are off the chart fantastic. They're so great. You can tell that Apple Plus really has the budget to put a lot of special effects in their shows, because this show looks great. The acting also is pretty solid. Anna Sawai, who plays Kate, she does a good job. I don't think she's a bad actress at all. I just feel that her character is poorly written. She's not likable at all. She's actually has a very bitchy attitude throughout, even to characters that are nice to her. And I feel like this is a problem, especially if she's the one we follow for the entire series. The monster universe has not really had successful main characters that are interesting. I really don't remember much about any of the characters here in any of the monster movies. I remember Bryan Cranston, which I thought was the best part of Godzilla 2014, hands down. He should have stayed alive, by the way. And yeah, I don't think it's the actress' fault. I just think that her character isn't well written. Um, Now there's time to change that. I think that if they make her more likable as the series progresses, and she has a character development, I think that's perfectly something that's something that they can perfectly adjust as the series go. But so far, I think that's one of my main gripes about episode one is the character of Kate. I just didn't latch on to her at all. I did not care for her or her story, and I'm sort of not interested in her. But I'm maybe the show can win me over to her, which I hope. I hope it does. We also have another storyline that takes place in the 1950s. This storyline follows the main character is White Russell. You may know him from Black Mirror. Uh, I think this storyline is probably my favorite storyline of the series. This era was given importance ever since the first Godzilla film, when the military showed the characters main footage of Godzilla and how they tried to kill him way back in the first film. I think it's smart here to go back in time and show what happened back in the 50s. It's interesting. It's probably my favorite timeline of the show so far. We follow Lee Shaw, Billy, and Keiko Mira. Billy is the young version of John Goodman, actually, from the beginning, in the this episode from the Skull Island movie, and I think that's a cool connection, right? Whatever. With them as they investigate monsters, we are able to see what happened back then in the Monster Universe canon, and I think that's pretty neat. I was much more invested in the storyline of this episode. Like I mentioned, I was more interested in finding out what they're going to discover in the past. They sort of find like a bunch of eggs down in some cave near the end of the episode, kind of like Alien. It's actually a lot like Alien, and as they go down there, as Lee Shaw and Keiko go down there, the ground sort of trembles and it falls like there are cracks, and it's very dangerous. And now bugs come out, and now both of them are in mortal danger. So they try to get up there with ropes, but Keiko basically dies. I mean, I don't think she's gonna come back after this. I'm pretty sure she's dead. So it's a tragic end for her character, which is kind of a bummer because I kind of was growing to like her character. So I thought the first episode wasn't the best. There were some moments I liked. Very great CGI, very impressive special effects. But overall, weak script in my opinion. On to episode 2. Episode 2 I feel is much better episode than the premiere. It's more entertaining. It has a sharp focus in the narrative. And I think the both of the storylines actually are more entertaining than the first episode. Or 1915 storyline jump backwards in time here. And as the series shows us how the characters Lee Shaw, Billy Randa, and Keiko met. The first time Lee meets Keiko, he doesn't believe that a Japanese woman, can be a scientist, but she's been ordered to investigate radioactive isotopes on an island in the Philippines. During their journey in the jungle, they meet Billy, who quickly becomes friends with Keiko, since both of them are geeks, and we know that they end up married in the second episode. They soon discover an American battleship in the middle of the jungle. They head out to investigate and find a motor claw of the ship apart. I thought that this moment was pretty cool. It adds a bit of mystery to the series. And also they mentioned like, oh, that's a dragon. Which kind of reminded me of the movie Ring of Fire with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey. And anyone else think that? I just thought about that during the scene. I thought the creature also looked very cool. It looked menacing. It looks scary, and it looked huge, which I appreciated. That these it's cool that these kinds of shows can actually do that. They escape the wreckage of the ship as the creatures head toward them. I think that seeing how these characters meet is important in what comes next. It's not about an origin story at all. I think it's important to the overall narrative and to what they're doing. So I'm curious to know more about the storyline. In our second storyline, back in 2015, Kate continues to pursue her dad's mysterious murder files. We are also introduced to Kurt Russell in this episode, who is definitely one of my favorite actors. He's great in everything he does, and here he's probably the most seasoned actor of all of the cast, and he's terrific here. Even though he just has a small part to play in this episode, I think he does a really good job, and I'm really happy that he's in this series. Kate also thinks that she has left her dad's secret family behind her, but is harassed by a secret agent of Monarch. Kate insists that the agent is bad news and manages to escape for a moment, but gets caught by another agent. They drag her to a car, put a hood on her head, and they drive off. But the hood on her head causes her to panic as she recalls Godzilla only sighting on the bridge. I really like all the destruction that Godzilla caused. And we didn't see Godzilla much yet in the series, and which is normal. I don't expect them to show Godzilla every episode, even if the show is called Godzilla. I'm not expecting that at all, and I dug the flashback sequence. She manages to escape when the vehicle crashes. We don't know what happens next. She just goes into the crowd, and this is where mostly the episode ends. While the character of Kate, I found very unlikable in the first. I think here she didn't complain as much. She wasn't as bitchy, but we didn't spend as much time on her as I feel like the first episode did, or maybe that's just me. But we'll see. How they develop her character as time goes on. I think this episode is much better than the first one. It's more entertaining. While I don't know if it has more action per se. It's definitely a step up. I think in this series so far, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm interested to watching more. So it sold me. It sold me on watching more of the show. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the monster universe, I'm not like a diehard fan at all. I like some of the Godzilla movies. I like King Kong. I'm on Team King Kong. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, so far I think I would rate episode 1 like a C plus or something, and then episode 2 a B. I think that's fair. Overall, C plus from average. It's not a bad series at all. If you're a fan of this franchise, I suggest checking the series out. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Please leave your comments below on what you thought of the series. And until next time.